Morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on this Thursday. Thursday, August the 20th, 2026. Can you believe it? We're already in August of this year. And, and over here, it is 8 a.m. on the West Coast. And I'm already sweating and kind of bothered with these temperatures, but I have to get things done. um, I know a lot is going on all over the country, all over the world, that's weather related due to man-made disasters. So it's next to sometimes impossible to get things done because you still want to remain safe. You don't want to be out in these conditions not protected. So what works best for me is to get up early and take care of things, because I need to take care of things. Things have to get done, and I cannot continue to believe there's a better time to do anything. The time is now. The time is now to do things. Get prepared. Understand what's really going on. If you're paying attention to what is on the social media platform, whether it's true or not, there are several people in certain regions of the country that have been without power for weeks. Flooding. All of their belongings have been gone down the drain, so to speak. And there's a lot of people just are dealing with a lot of discomfort, catastrophic events, you name it. People are going through things, and so it's important, to be prepared for anything. Thankfully, I trust my instincts, as I said. Something told, it's not like something told me, but within me, I have these internal dialogues with myself. They're comforting. They're revealing. They're an opening to understand what's going on inside of me based on having inner dialogue with myself. Sometimes I speak out to myself, but it all depends. My environment has changed. I know that there's a lot of devices out there that's paying attention to everybody's conversation, whether it's in your vehicle, whether it's in your house, your home, your job. Just being outdoors, there's these devices out there that pick up. They claim it's supposed to pick up signs of weapons, but anybody who believes that is delusional. Okay, they have these sound devices out throughout the community, throughout the city, that they claim pick up weapons. So when someone's firing off weapons, now who believes that? Okay, who believes that? They're picking up sounds and tones of conversations as well. They're listening to our conversations. And I was talking to someone about that. A lot of people are just so delusional, and they refuse to believe anything that's going on. They refuse to look outside of what they're being told about what's going on. Okay, it's logical to me. If you have a sound device picking up weapons, what else? Picking up the sounds of weapons, what else is it picking up? Okay, I told you about a city I once was a first responder, and they started putting up all these surveillance cameras and all of these devices in particular neighborhoods, by the way. And in some neighborhoods, they have those cameras pointing right into the bedrooms of citizens that were living in that neighborhood. But the citizens, there's a lot of citizens throughout the country who are resilient. They persevere, and they just adapt to the situations that they're in. Sometimes it's just a matter of having a roof over your head. Sometimes it's a matter of having food in the refrigerator. It's those type of basic necessities that a lot of people are accepting, regardless of the surveillance, the listening devices, whether all that is going on, because of most of them who are having these struggles and these challenges, majority of them are biological women with their children. Most of them are, the majority that are being adversely affected, are biological black females and their children. They need they need a roof over their heads. They need food in the refrigerator, as I said. So they'll deal with these invasive tactics used by law enforcement for the solving of crime. That's what they are alleging. Which is a lot of people are figuring that out. That's a bunch of bullshit, and I'm thankful for that, because that's the reason why I got targeted too back in 2022, because I was sharing this kind of thing, because I was right there and I saw it. Why do you need a camera? First of all, the way the cameras were positioned to be able to see into the bedrooms of a lot of these apartments that a lot of these people were living in. Okay, and I can remember going in the center, okay, where they do their monitoring, because in most cases we were not allowed to be there. But when I was doing an investigation, I would go up there and see the amount of surveillance and cameras all in this room for solving crime, and I saw what they were looking at. I would sit there as they were investigating my situation. All I had to do is look around, and I saw what the other officers were watching. Okay, it's bullshit. Okay, to have these listening devices, these surveillance, and claim that you're doing that for solving crime. So if they will tell us the truth, that they just want to know what you're doing in your bedrooms, then I think most people will understand why you cannot rely on those cameras to help solve crimes. So what am I rambling about this morning on a Thursday? Be prepared. I know the invasion is troubling with the flock cameras, so they call them, these listening devices, and not only what's happening with our electronics, everything's monitored. Whatever I type, whatever I say, whatever I search, everything about us is invaded. Our humanity invaded. But despite all of that, I still have to provide for myself. I still have to make sure I have food on the table. I still need to make sure I have the basic necessities in my life. And the weather is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get better and better and better and better. But I can get better and better and better and better. As a human being, we are the only ones who can get better. Okay? Animals can't get better if the environment is not better. If we're not restoring the environment, okay, restoring the biodiversity, okay. Unfortunately, this planet is reliant on human beings to make things right. So, but as a human, which is beautiful if you think about it, I can get better and better and better and better. It's free will. That is what free will is about. You can either get better or you cannot. You can bring in positivity, neutral positivity, or criminal negativity. It's all free will. Anybody telling you otherwise is delusion. They are deluding you. They are attempting to coerce you, manipulate you, deceive you about who you are, what you are, and why you are. Okay, so I choose to be better and better and better and better. And that's via, like I said, the internal dialogues, trusting my instincts, doing what I need to do. I got work to do inside and out of my environment. Yes, it is extremely uncomfortable And as I go along on this process, on this journey, on this discovery, on this adventure, I just have to know how to improve, my atmosphere, my environment. Make sure I do the proper what I need to do that's going to enhance my life and make it better and better and better and better. I can do that. No one else can. Only I can make my life better and better and better and better. Every day, every second, every minute, every hour. I can do that. And like I said, only human beings can do that. If human beings make everything right, make everything better, neutrally positive, that would affect the planet. Unfortunately, Mother Earth, the planet, is going to make things right instead. Because we as 10 billion, almost 10 billion people are not. There's only a pocket of group of collectiveness, of like-mindedness that are doing the right things. Continue to be righteous. It will pay off, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. Do the right things. Be righteous. Yes, again, this environment is uncomfortable. And when I say this environment, this summer of heat is intense. It was so intense. Like I say, it was hurting my skin. So I can only imagine what's happening to lighter complexions, the danger that poses. Even though I cover myself up, I don't care. I don't use sunscreens. I don't use any type of chemical products. I just make sure I'm covered, make sure I'm layered, even though it's extremely uncomfortable to do so. Extremely. But I need to get work done. Things have to be done. I need to be prepared for winter. Who knows what that will bring? As I was talking to people, on my journey and adventure, I talked to people, and I said, "Well, gosh, what will we do if the winter is as extreme as the summer has been over here on the West Coast in the desert, literal desert? Okay, we're literally in a desert, but the management around us are pretending otherwise. Okay, what happens in the desert cannot happen anywhere else. Okay, the desert has a certain level of responsibilities, accountabilities, preparations that cities next door or states next door have a different preparation as to what they need to do in their environment. Okay, a desert is a desert is a desert. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I still got work to do. I still have projects to work on. I need to prepare myself. I need to be ready for anything and have the basic necessities of what I need at my fingertips, which is, what to drink, for me, it's the basic necessities, shelter, transportation, food, clothing, okay, and a certain level of income. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. While it's early, because it's not as intense during the early hours as it is as it goes through the day. And it's so funny over here. During as the sun goes down, you would think the temperatures will go down over here. Absolutely not. It appears the temperatures are rising. I remember I got off from working on something. It was after midnight, and it was still 100 and something degrees. You understand me? So a desert is a desert is a desert, and that's to the management. Okay, you cannot do what you do here based on what they're doing in California, what they're doing in Utah, even what they're doing in Arizona, because Arizona is it's a verge of a desert as well. Keep that in mind. And it doesn't matter how high you go in the elevations. If the glaciers are melting, guess what that's going to expose? The permafrost. If that's melting, guess what that exposes? Okay, we're in trouble. That's the end point. We're in trouble. So let me go ahead and stop it right now. I'm going to send peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. Universal love at the end of the day towards yourself, towards each other, towards the planet. Talk to you soon.